Day 3 of first rehearsals at Eurovision 2017 is drawing to a close. We have seen another 9 acts, but of course we do not have 9 winners, y'all. We're keeping it real. We're gonna name our favorites. Are you ready?
Let's do this!
Today, the 9 countries were Serbia, Austria, former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, Malta, Romania, the Netherlands, Hungary, Denmark, and Ireland. Why don't we first kick this off with our biggest loser of the day?
I always go with my loser is who is below my expectations. So that would be Serbia, because I didn't have high expectations for Ireland. So Serbia, I came in today thinking that Serbia is one of my favourite songs. They're going to have an epic stage show. Serbia always do well, if we forget about 2013. They always have a good stage show. Like, if you think of last year's show, they had such drama packed into the 3 minutes. And I was expecting a lot more. And then we came in this morning, and she's dressed in her pyjamas, and she's alone on stage for most of the time. Then this hot guy comes on. She doesn't even pay any attention to him, and he's spinning.
We pay more attention.
Yes, we did.
He's spinning round in circles, and then at the end she grabs him. Her vocals were fine, but it was just made the stage show and the performance dull by the lack of connection between the pair of them, and there was nothing going on. And then I don't get why she didn't try and bring in elements of her music video, that she had this great big hoop that she didn't use that at all. So I was disappointed, and hopefully she'll have daywear or nightwear instead of bedwear next time.
Okay, so actually I need to defend my girl Tiana. During our interview, she explained that because she had the press conference immediately afterwards, she basically dressed for that. So she wore something in white. So this is not her stage costume. She won't be going to sleep on stage in those bedclothes. This was just an act of convenience, really, because you gotta sing, you gotta go to the green room, you gotta go to the press conference, you gotta go out on the town. So she was ready for all occasions. And also, she said herself that the camera cuts aren't right, so you don't see what she's actually doing, so it will make more sense.
That's worrying, because we've heard so many of the acts now say that the camera cuts aren't right, and that seems a lot more than usual at Eurovision. Like, I know in 2015 at least, I think the only act that really was complaining a lot was Romania, from memory, Voltage, who had problems with the production. It seems that a lot of them are having little niggles that they're not too happy with right now. And I didn't mind Serbia. I thought it was okay, really. I think because it was on so early in the morning, it's kind of faded a little bit. I think over a 2-hour show, it will last a lot better than it has in my mind right now.
But who is your loser?
Disappointment.
So tactful.
I kind of have 2. I would say Hungary underwhelmed me, actually, in the end, but I think my biggest one, and it really does pain me to say this, is probably Macedonia in the long run now. Again, considering the entire day as a whole, it comes across against all these other 8 songs in the first half as being quite amateurish in the end, I think. And it just wasn't tight enough on stage, it felt like. And it does hurt me to say that, because I love the song and I love Jana so much, but it just doesn't quite have that polish that it needs when this semi-final is going to be very difficult to qualify from. And it is a great song, so that might pull it through, but
it's interesting. This was a grower for me. I think that some people might call it amateurish. I think she's just bubbly and unseasoned, but I find it refreshing, because there's so many divas here who've been in all these talent competitions and like everything is all Miss Universe. She's just got this very natural quality, and it comes off on stage. The choreography is so playful, and it actually, she told us in our interview on wiwibloggs.com that every single move corresponds to something in the lyrics, and like even when she's over the shoulder, blowing kisses, doing her thing, it all has something behind it. So there's planning and thought here. I find it refreshing. I like the lack of kind of polish, but I do think the LED is polished. I think the staging looks amazing.
Bit is. I think I think it's just a bit too overtly sexual as well. I have no.
A lot of people have said this.
I think it is. It's a recurring thing that I'm hearing from other people in the press room as well. That it's a little bit too much. You could make the song something else in a way. You could make it a bit more empowering, but actually it comes across as like, I want to get down on the dance floor.
Right.
And actually, it could be, I will dance alone. I don't need nobody to dance with me. I am strong woman. No, and you
Yeah.
can be strong and be putting it out there. That's fine. You can do that. A lot of people do, but maybe not for Eurovision.
She's being coquettish. I think a lot of people are slut shaming for no reason, because this toes a line of being. I'm not saying you are.
No.
But I'm saying you can be playful. Some people are just naturally flirty, and they're not actually flirting.
Yeah.
That's just their personality, and I think that's what's coming through. I personally think it toes the line between playful and sexy real well, and it doesn't offend me because she's so fresh-faced and bubbly.
My problem isn't that it's too sexual, it's that it's not slick enough to go with the slick production of the song. The song and the staging are too slick, whereas that seems homemade. Like, it just seems like it was. I know she's not freestyling, that everything has thought behind it, but it feels like she is freestyling, and it doesn't feel like she's freestyling in kind of a natural sense. It's just as if she's going out without rhythm, or I don't know.
It wasn't bad. That's the thing. None of them were that bad. And Ireland was bad, but that's me. That's my personal opinion on that one. I know not a lot of people feel like that, but it wasn't bad. It was good. It just wasn't what I wanted it to be, I guess.
Yeah.
This has turned into the Jana Borcheska show, which suggests that we love the act. Now, I don't really. Oh, I do. I don't have someone who. How do I say this? Okay, my loser is Denmark. And listen, thing is, I didn't expect much from this visually, and I got what I expected, which was the X Factor winners moment or the Voice winners moment, and it's fine. She's amazing vocally. It's like a tank. It's like the tanks have rolled in, and they are all shooting out her voice, and it's like, but it's a barrage for me. I'm like, make it stop. It's it just. There's not one climax. There's 90, and not even the world's most seasoned Lothario could do it with that. Like, I don't know how we're gonna cope. It's a lot. It's a wall of sound, and I'd love it to be more of a curtain of sound, because you can draw it, you can close it.
Yeah.
But this is just. In any case, I've just watched our video on Denmark. I don't want to hate on the girl because she's so talented and so beautiful and very kind, and she's very sweet. This is about the staging. All right, so unless you want to defend Anya.
No, I think we. Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Interesting. So now let's move on to our biggest grower who improved the most in your mind.
My grower today was Malta. I mean, there was somebody else, but they are in another category for me, who I will come to, or other people, I should say. Malta, no, it was really, really good. I had no expectations for this, and actually, I've come out thinking she's in with a fighting shot of qualifying. I'm not madly in love with all of the staging. I do think that it's a bit weird with her being in the backdrop as well, but actually everything else, the lights coming down above her, that all really works. I think that she sounded amazing. She looks great.
Stunning.
Yeah, this is a very classy entry, and it's good to see Malta in good form. Malta always do well and always actually do come with something good, and they've delivered again.
I think this is stunning. I also had really, really low expectations. I'm not gonna cry, y'all, don't worry. I had really low expectations and she blew it out the water, and I love when that happens, when someone proves you so wrong, and she has done that. This, from start to finish, I was gripped. People went silent because they wanted to feel what she was conveying, and that takes power. You can't teach that. You've either got it or you don't, and she created that moment. It's something magical. It's like an X Factor, and you have to have so many elements, right? I actually love the staging because you see face, you see breast, you see leg on the LED. They're piecing the person together. This is the theme, breathlessly, how something overwhelms you as an entity, as a whole person, and that's what she's getting at.
I think I might have just realised part of my problem with it is actually that would be fine, but she's dressed quite demurely actually on stage.
Oh.
Even like a thigh, a thigh slit.
She's got a second dress, she told us.
Oh, okay then.
So
that's fine.
this was test 1, and test 2 will be.
Because actually the backdrop is a bit more revealing, and actually if that matched up, maybe it would make more sense to me, because at the moment it's like, I'm a bit ashamed maybe of my body in the background because I'm wearing this like white smock almost.
Ooh, no shame, girl, no shame. Oh, and if it's not clear, she's also my biggest grower. I mean, if I could give this a wee jury score again, I'd move it from a 2 or 2.5, whatever it was, to like a 9, because this blew me away.
Yeah, Malta really impressed me as well. I thought there was elements that worked very well because she had the big face behind her, but she did it in a much more sophisticated and subtle way than Isaiah did from Australia. It wasn't kind of a look at me, she was just kind of happened to be there in the background. But she's pipped to number 1 spot as my biggest grower by the girls from Netherlands. I didn't hate Ogene beforehand, but they were kind of mid-table in my rankings, and this staging has just elevated it that they're just divas, and
So good.
they own the stage. And I found it hilarious in the press conference. Somebody asked them, is this the biggest stage you've ever performed on? And all 3 of them were just like, no, but it's nice. and it just shows you that they're such professionals. And they were dressed like Destiny's Child. They had the camera angles like any of the biggest pop stars. The cameras themselves weren't catching all the movements of the girls, but that wasn't their fault. And their harmonies were just like heavenly.
Honey, you were hearing this in Mexico, you were hearing this in Jupiter. Those harmonies are out of this world. This is one of my 2 winners of the day. This blew me away. Again, I didn't like the song Studio Cut. I still don't like the studio cut. But then I heard them live in Amsterdam. I was like, oh, we need to look at this. And then seeing this today, I'm completely floored. I mean, this could win the semifinal for all I know at this point. It's so strong. It is so strong. I want to point out the outfits. They're wearing these very skin-tight outfits that are stunning. They're black and blue and they shimmer, but they're all different to highlight the girl's own individuality. One is in kind of like a pantsuit. One is in a dress with a plunging neckline. The other one is in another dress with an even deeper plunging neckline. They're showing the different flavor of each sister. We've got to talk about their choreography. They're so in sync and precise when they're doing this, the leg steps. It's very simple and yet very forceful. And the reason they can do this in such good sync is because they've known each other their whole lives. They don't even have to think about it. 2 of them shared a womb for 9 months, They know each other in ways we will never know people. And it's just lovely to see. Final point for me on them. I love the very subtle way they celebrate their mother. They flash a woman on the LED. And clearly this is a reference to someone struggling with something and the power of perseverance that so many people convey in difficult situations. It's tastefully done, and regardless of whether you know their backstory or not, you will feel something at that moment. It's obvious if you listen to the lyrics.
And I think that commentators will probably give that reference point. I hope that they do. If it wasn't obvious, Netherlands are in my top 2 as well. They might actually be my number 1 for the day now that I think about it. I mean, you only have to look at our review video from earlier. You saw I got emotional, and it still actually does, thinking back to it, make me feel emotional. It's captivating, that's the thing, and their voices just give it so much texture and love behind it. There is genuine passion and love in that song, and it does really make you feel what they are. That message, it just comes across so well. So yeah, brilliant job by the Netherlands. Again, it has gone from very, very low in my rankings to probably the winner of the day for me, and into my top 10 overall for this contest, if not higher than that.
Porrig, your other winner, please.
Well, I have to give my first winner first.
Oh, sorry.
No, we just go it.
My number 2 would be Anja Nielsen from Denmark.
It just went red. Did you notice? The flames of hell are burning bright. All right.
Okay. It's formulaic. It's generic. We've seen it before. It's completely manufactured.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why these things work. And Anya does it very well.
True.
And people like stuff that they're familiar with. You're in Ukraine. Are you having their local drink? No, you're drinking Coca-Cola. You like familiarity.
Coke Zero.
It makes you safe. It makes you feel safe. That's what Anya does. For people who are maybe a bit scared by a Maltese woman's breast on the screen, or don't find it accessible for 3 Dutch ladies singing about their mother, or are frightened by yodelers, Anya is something safe and familiar, and the juries can't dock her points from her vocal point of view, and I think viewers at home will pick up their phone, and I think she's bringing Denmark back to the final. How she performs in the final, I don't know, but she's definitely the best power balladeer in this year's contest of the female variety.
But does she have the best power ballad?
Well, yes, because we're looking at Georgia and Albania, so yes.
Kasia Moss will have words about that.
I'm going to keep the faith in this situation. All right. Thoughts on Denmark?
I like it enough as it is. It's kind of just mid-table for me right now in terms of the day. I think that the problem with playing it safe at Eurovision is, generally speaking, people only vote for maybe 1 or 2 acts if they're televoting. And that is where the problem lies, is people will probably love one song, they will like Anya because she's playing it safe, but then does equate into a lot of televotes. I think the juries will probably rank her mainly like 4th or 5th, and that will get her a lot of points. I think this is a jury one, but if she gets to the final, I would suspect bottom 5.
Turn up the heat or go down in flames. RuPaul circa 2011. Okay, Porig, who is your other winner?
Romania.
Yodelay.
Yolehu. Yeah, there's no competition. I think yesterday we had the same issue where there was I forget who our winner was, but Armenia was way up above everyone else and everyone else was down below.
Yeah.
And it's the same today. Their staging worked, their vocals worked, the chemistry between the duo worked. They even had a bit of fun, they had more than a bit. They had buckets of fun and cannons of fun, and it was just so infectious. And from the moment it starts, you're smiling, because some songs they start and it takes a little while for them to get going, but their screen is an explosion of colours, and there's little toy soldiers marching, and they throw in a few cartoon sheep, and they have cannons, and they have confetti, and the cannons are sparkly, and then Alex jumps up in the cannon and occasionally he falls off the cannon. It's just the best.
This is bonkers, and it is also my winner of the day. You can take depressed Daniel, bitter Betty, put them in a room, make them watch this, and they will come out happy, drowning in serotonin. This is an upper. You bring me down, I'ma yodel it out. It fits with the theme of, making the most of the day. Don't get angry, yodel it out. Don't be sad, yodel it out. Don't sit in the press room exhausted wanting to go home because you didn't sleep last night or eat this morning. Yodel it out. And that's what they make us want to do. It's just instantly gripping and colorful and bright, cartoony. Interestingly, in our interview, they said, we didn't know what the LED would be until today. They hadn't seen it. But exactly. But they were satisfied with it. And they said, the producers captured the spirit of the song. They are going to tweak things and make it different. But it's so interesting how an outside group of producers were able to tap into that emotion so quickly. And that's the power of the song, is it's immediate. The feelings it's trying to evoke are obvious and immediate. And sometimes cartoons can be cheesy, but in this context not, because they have the playful spirit.
I've seen a lot of people calling it cheap, and actually I don't find the song cheap at all, and I don't find the staging cheap. I find the staging actually one of the most coherent, expensive looking in a way, because there's so much thought being put into it. Obviously from the production side, who came up with the LED, but they came up with obviously the initial concept of cannons and yodeling and this and that, which they built from. Definitely in my top 2. And again, it's probably that and Netherlands are very close to my winner for the day.
And so different too, which I love.
Which is so different. Celebrate diversity. Really, really good fun. Very enjoyable. Vocally, I didn't have any issues with it. I know, again, some people have. Ilinca has a cold, apparently, which is obviously going to hinder her, but she's got more than a week to go before she actually has to have a voice, really, so who cares? Just very, very good fun. And again, I do think that this is in contention to win the semi-final. I think it's in contention to win the overall televote, and I think it's in contention to be top 3 at Eurovision if the jury respects it, and I do hope that they do.
This has, it's in a good way, the cheese factor of Paula Selling and Ovi, but it's more fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it is a total compliment, and I think they could do just as well, if not better.
Playing with fire, Paula and Ovi,
yes,
maybe
absolutely.
not Miracle. Was it Miracle?
Yeah, Miracle. So we've done our winners, yes?
Yes.
So now let's just quickly and concisely review the other acts we have not mentioned, starting with Austria. I've got to say, this was very good. It was very sweet. I think they're having some camera issues. They need to sort out, the perspex table.
Yeah, the fog needs to be higher.
Yeah.
But actually, again, it was a very good, that's probably like 3rd or 4th in the day. But again, it's so early on in the morning, it's hard. It does get forgotten about a little bit. He wasn't out of this world enough to then move him forward throughout the day. Throughout an entire, a 2-hour semi-final, probably higher. He is in with a shot of qualifying as well, because he's very likeable, and where I think maybe Serbia and Macedonia might be a little off-putting to people, Nathan stands out. He's also the first male, really, until I mean, solo male until Hungary, so that might help him as well.
People
along
are
the
going to
way.
remember the moon in the recap. Let's break
Yeah.
it down. You're going to see the moon. Oh, that was a dude on the moon. Vote. So this has potential to go through. Another act we didn't talk about was...
Hungary most.
Oh,
I meant
yeah, Hungry. I gotta say, so if I'm being 100% totally transparent, I was slightly underwhelmed, but I think that's not down to Yossi. I think that's down to the camera. I think they need to keep it... He was nervous, yes, but I don't mind that because he'll get over it. I think they need to crop it tighter and focus on him more because the stage felt empty.
Yeah. Yeah,
At times.
and his nervousness was kind of off-putting in a way. It made the song drag a bit because he looked very uncomfortable, and it's always very uncomfortable to look at someone else feeling uncomfortable because the staging was very well done, that they had lots of ethnic flair and they even livened it up a bit. He dances with his dancer at one point while the pyro is shooting up a circle of flames all around them. So I think the staging is okay. So maybe I think if he can master his nerves and the camera shots get them sorted out, it should be fine.
Because this is spiritual and powerful, and I love him beating on the traditional milk jug. This, of course, is how people in Hungary have carried milk, for generations. And then the Romani people who have been economically, restricted, or they don't have as many means, they turned it into an instrument. And the team was explaining this to us. So the message is, you don't have to have money to make music, and that is beautiful.
And he is the epitome of celebrate diversity in that regard as well. I think that if it weren't for the pyro, I probably would actually have this as my worst of the day because it was so underwhelming. The first 3 run-throughs without it just completely passed me by. The only thing I really remember is him being nervous and the pyro. The pyro effectively saves us from being a blanche for me because that at least was memorable. There's so little memorable about Belgium at the moment other than the painfulness of the performance. I do suspect that it will get better though.
And finally, we gotta talk about Ireland's Brendan Murray. I should have put him on my growers list. I mean, he was my second biggest grower. I absolutely loved this. I thought this was so classy the way they've staged it. Some people are like, what the hell is the balloon about? It's about hope. It's about optimism. He's dying to try. A balloon takes flight. Visually, this is arresting to me because you might think a hot air balloon is a little kiddie, but no, it's not kiddie. This is adult. It's beautiful. It gives me nostalgia for my childhood. The magic of flight, the clouds, the LED, the red mixed with the clouds. It is beautiful and striking, and I could not stop watching this when it was on.
Technically, didn't you say it was about love?
That was earlier, and now I've heard the official line, and so it applies to both. Many allusions in many stories. This is why we have literature classes, people.
There's also a phrase called going down like a lead balloon.
I wish I'd have thought of that earlier.
See, the problem is, for instance, I don't like cauliflower. If a Michelin chef cooked cauliflower, I still wouldn't like it. I don't like Brendan's song, so no matter what was done with it today, I wouldn't have liked it. The staging, if someone else was singing a different song, I possibly might have liked it because it was very atmospheric.
Very.
But then the balloon served no purpose. Even Devin, who absolutely adores the song and adores everything apart from the staging, didn't get the balloon. The balloon just looks like Ireland were like, we need a gimmick. This is Eurovision. Well, we've tried waterfalls. Let's try a balloon.
Look, I think the hot air balloon is one of the great unexplored images of Eurovision staging. I know Artsvik is flying in one in her postcard, but that's pre-show. We're talking main event. This is lovely. In any case, that is what we think. What do you think? Who are your winners and losers and growers of the day? You can let us know here on wiwibloggs.
Make sure to subscribe.
And please like and share this video and join the over 32,000 of you who are now subscribed to us.
Oh my God, thank you guys. We'll see you later. Bye.